Ah oui. Ah oui.
Same again, if I can just ask photographers just to do the first 5 minutes and then stop shooting. And start.
Lucy, it seems like everyone's been talking about your goal against Norway, your performances this World Cup. How much of what we're seeing now was made in Lyon? How big an impact has your move to that club played in sort of your current level of performance?
A lot. I think the player that I was 2 years ago and even 4 years ago, you know, I had a desire to win, and I've always had that competitiveness and the physical edge and those kind of things. But going to Lyon completely kind of changed my game for the better. I played with all the best players, all the, you know, the technical superstars that are around in the world now, and I really just I studied them. I wanted to get better on the ball. I wanted to stop giving the ball away. I wanted to get my technique better, which is probably the reason why I scored the goal the other night, because I managed that technique. But definitely the player that I feel that I am now is a huge thanks to my development in the past 2 years at Lyon.
You talk about your excitement about coming up against the best players, playing with the best players in the world. You're going to be up against Megan Rapinoe if you're playing in that position against the USA. She's got 5 goals in the tournament, everyone's talking about her. How much does that excite you? Do you get excited about coming up against a player like that and proving yourself against them?
I've always said that, you know, I love playing against the best players in the world. I love a challenge. I remember a couple of years ago, I kind of had a list of names of players that I wanted to play up against, you know, your Martas, your Kelly Smith, and Rapinoe was definitely on there. And it was 2 years ago when I first played against her, and I was so excited because I finally get to play against one of the best players in the world, and you know, she's still up there today as one of the best. So of course I'm still excited to have that challenge to be able to go toe to toe against one of the best. It's the reason I play as a defender, because you know all the best players are attackers, so I get to match up against them on a continuous basis, and I'm excited for it.
You almost normally Michel Ola hopes that there are many Lyon players now here in Lyon in the final week. You are the last one.
Three of us, yeah.
I understand he is with you.
Pardon?
Did he talk to you, and is he for your sympathies?
Who? The players?
Michel Ola.
Oh, yeah. To be fair, a lot of the people at the club at Lyon have texted me over the past 2 days. They haven't texted me at the beginning of the tournament, but since France have gone, they sent me a few messages. You know, Gerard Houllier, he's been at a lot of our games. He works closely with Lyon, and he always texts and say good luck to all the girls. And I've had a few messages over the past 2 days from a lot of the Lyon staff saying, you know, good luck. Beat the US for us, so I think we've got a few more supporters than we maybe normally have in the French and in OL.
Lucy, talked about the impact that Lyon's had on you on the pitch. Can you sort of what it's been like off the pitch? Obviously, new language and different here. How do you kind of adapt to all that?
I mean, I don't speak French fluently as much as I try, but yeah, off the pitch I've learnt a lot as a person. Adapting to different environment, different culture, learning a language, eating very different foods. But I think the girls are fantastic at Lyon. You know, the minute I stepped in this team, I knew that these were professionals, these were world-class players, and even on the pitch they show it. I think players like Wendy Renard is someone that I've kind of watched a lot and took a lot from, because she's just, you know, she walks in a room and you can just feel her presence. And I think we've got a lot of leadership. You know, we've got Saki Kumagai, Japanese captain, and I think that's something that I've been asked to do more now at England, and I'm being able to learn off, you know, all these great captains from all over the world, and being able to take that off the pitch is kind of helped me a lot as well.
Lucy, you've never lost at your home stadium. How much of a good woman is that for tomorrow?
I mean, it's a great start. I think Carly Lloyd's never lost either, although she's played less games than me. But yeah, it's a stadium that I love playing at. Even when I was with Man City, I absolutely love it. You know, the pitch is amazing, the facilities, the changing room, the crowd, and you know, the kind of atmospheres that you get in that stadium are unbelievable. I think that kind of brings out the best in me. It brings out the best in the teams that I play for. I know that the players that I play for England, I'm sure it's going to bring out the best in them. You know, we live for these games, and for big games like it's going to be on Tuesday against you know, in this huge stadium, this magnificent stadium. You know, I'm super excited for it.
Can photographers stop shooting now, please? Thank you.
Hi, Lucy, I have a tutorial for you. Phil Neville keeps saying that you're the best player in the world. Is it added pressure for you? And on the side, Jill Lees says that she would play you higher on the pitch when in attack. What's your take on that?
I don't play for America, so I think with Phil, I think, you know, he's been quite vocal about having huge compliments for me, but, you know, I think he said it to me a couple of weeks after taking charge of. He was like, "You're the best player in the world," and I was like, "No, Phil, I'm really not." And he tells me every day, and I'm like, "Phil, really, I'm not." And I think he just likes, you know, it's lovely that he's got so much belief and he has so much confidence in me. But for me personally, I don't see it as a pressure because I don't feel like I'm there yet. I'm still striving to be better. I'm still striving to be a better player every day. You know, I want to be better than the day before. I want to be better than the game that I've had previously, and I continue to do that. I know that he says that I'm a player that if he sets me a challenge, I'll go and complete that challenge as soon as possible. I'm just like that. I'm driven, and I know, you know, part of him saying that is he wants to drive me and he wants to push me on, and I'll take that on. It's a lovely compliment to receive, although I don't fully believe him, but I don't think I'll ever get there, but I'll try my best. And yeah, for America, I play right back's my best position. I love playing right back, and I know I can do it well and know what I'm doing there. I don't want to play right wing.
Who do you think of then, Lucy, as the if you don't think of yourself as the best player in the world, who do you think of? Who are the kind of people that you aspire to reach another level?
In terms of football talent and football ability, Marizanne, I know, you know, I think this tournament we've not seen the best of her because she got injured in the first 10 minutes of the first game, struggled to get back for fitness to play against Sweden, someone who I'm really good friends with, and I'm gutted for her. But in terms of football talent and ability, you know, you rarely see players like that. I think the only player that I could really compare her to that I've really played with her against is Kelly Smith. You know, she's just got so much raw talent that I'll never be able to hit a ball like she does, unfortunately for me. But I think she's the kind of player that I say that to her and she's like, "Yeah, but Lucy, I'll never be as, you know, as physically dominant as you." So when I think about the best players in the world, I always think about these kind of tricky, skillful, and I'm just more of a direct, physical player. But I love Marizanne. I think she's, for me, I've watched her and grown up playing against her for a long time, and she's got to be one of the most talented, definitely.
Lucie, est-ce que tu peux me répondre en français?
Non.
Tu savais quels sont tes sentiments à l'idée de jouer une demi-finale de Coupe du Monde à Lyon?
En français,
Oui.
Je peux pas. Ouais, je suis très content pour ça, bien sûr. C'est un rêve pour moi que jouer à Lyon. Pour les dernières 2 années, je pensais bien pour le demi-finale et le finale à Lyon. And maintenant, tomorrow it's come true.
Perfect.
Merci.
Lucy, just looking back at the last 2 major tournaments and semi-final defeats, do you think this particular squad you're in now is better equipped than the last 2? And if so, why?
I think when I look at both the squads, you know, there's a very similar kind of talent pool and drive there. I think it's just we needed a few more years of playing and knowing that we having that belief and knowing that we were good enough. I think the last tournament we had a lot of talent. You know, we got through games, we played a different style of football, maybe because we didn't have that sort of belief because we hadn't beaten the best. You know, we hadn't beaten Germany, we hadn't beaten for France for God knows how long, we hadn't beaten the US, you know, so we didn't, if we was to face a top team, we didn't really know what we was going to come up against and how to really counteract that, and if we were going to be able to go toe-to-toe, whereas now we've played in 2 semi-finals now, back-to-back, this is going to be our 3rd. We play on a regular basis against the US, against France, against Germany. We match them in every game that we play against them. You know, they're always tight games, but we know that we can beat them now. I think that's maybe the difference is now we know we can beat them and it can be done. And for us, I think that's going to be the difference this year.
You talk about the US. Do you think, you've obviously watched their progress throughout this tournament, do you think sometimes they behave like a team who are destined to win this tournament? And is that annoying?
I don't look at them and think they're destined to win this tournament. I think a lot of the games they've had have been quite tight, although at the beginning obviously they played Thailand and it was a lot of goals in it. But when I looked at the big games that they played, Sweden, who predominantly didn't play the strongest team, then you got Spain, then you got France, and they're winning these games 2-1. It's not been easy for them. I don't think it's an easy tournament, and I don't think for me to then say they're destined to go on and win it, I wouldn't agree with that. I know people talk a lot about the things going off the pitch for them, but I don't think we really look into that. I think at the end of the day we want to just win who's been put in front of us, and to win the World Cup you've got to play the best teams, and we want to beat the best teams doing that. So we've wanted to play against a team like this to beat them to get to the final.
Lucy, in terms of having Phil Neville as a coach, is it particularly beneficial because he has played the game at the highest level, he's played for one of the top clubs in the world, he's been to major tournaments? Does that impact, do you think, the way he coaches you and the way he treats you off the field? Yeah, I definitely think the way he's been brought up as a player, has it impacted the way he is as a coach, how he can interact with players. Obviously it's quite different, and he's never been to a World Cup before, so this is his first World Cup. He'll hate me for saying that, but he's definitely got a lot of experiences that I think a lot of other managers would never go through. He's experienced Sir Alex Ferguson. Not many people have experienced that, let alone managers, so I think he has got a lot of different things to offer that he's been able to add to this team, and which has really helped us develop and got us kind of to the place that we are now.
Lucy, the women's game is obviously on a fairly steep upward trajectory back at home, viewing figures that would have been scarcely believable 5 or 10 years ago. What do you think England being in a World Cup final would do for the interest in the women's game?
I think for just the game in general, I remember watching the World Cup last year, and I think the media have been quite harsh on England teams in the past, and then you look, England men's team made it to semi-final and the whole nation fell in love with football again, and it happened 4 years ago with us as well. We made it to semi-final and everyone fell in love with us, fell in love with football, fell in love with women's football. Although we're aspiring to push women's football, we just want to inspire everyone, like little boys, little girls, the whole nation. We just want the whole nation to get behind every team that's playing with that England shirt.
Just a footballing question first up. You've played a particular way with this tournament. You've been rampaging forward. You've been a real threat every time. Do you perhaps, given their threat down the left flank, your right, have to temper that part of your game because of the danger of it? And secondly, this room, all those microphones, all these interests, and the next one you're going to invite to Graham Norton. It just shows how big things are getting now, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it shows how big things are getting. I think it's something that we were prepared for before the start of this tournament. I remember the World Cup in Canada. It was something that we didn't expect, and it kind of just exploded on us. And then the semi-finals, and now we've got so much to look forward to as well for the home Euros and things like that, and obviously trying to reach the final of the World Cup. It was something that we all dreamed of happening in women's football, and obviously we're getting there and we're pushing the game on, and that's exactly what we want. We want to leave it in a better place than what we found it.
And again, your role?
I'm not going to change the way that I play. I don't think the only reason I ever change the way that I play is when I get old and my legs give up on me. I can't imagine Rapinoe's going to change the way that she plays just because I run up and down. I think that's what top teams do. You need to stick to the way you play. You can adapt a little bit, and I've adapted throughout the tournament. My game's been a little bit different every single game. I've been asked to do a different role, but I don't think Phil will ever be able to keep me still and stood on the halfway line. That's just not me. So for me, I'll play the normal game that I always want to play, full of energy and joining the attack, joining the defence and working hard for the team.
Lucy, English football's also reached a point where we're getting to semi-finals now with the men and the women. As you say, it's the women's third semi-final. How much of a step further is it to get to a final, and what will it take to do that? And also, is it almost going through a psychological barrier now to get through from a semi-final to a final?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what I said at the beginning of this tournament was we've had back-to-back semi-finals, which is an amazing feat for this team and an amazing achievement to be able to do it on a consistent basis. But we're short of that last step. We've still got that hunger that And especially now, I said, we were going to have more of a hunger than all the other teams because we've never reached a final. And you look now, and the 4 teams left, we are the only team that hasn't reached a final. The Olympics, the World Cup, the Euros, these other 3 teams have reached finals in recent years. So we've probably got that edge where we are a little bit more hungry for it. We are maybe more destined and want to go to a final in that respect. But it definitely takes more. But who's better to know that it takes more than a team that's been knocked out of 2 consecutive semi-finals?
4 years ago in Canada was such a heartbreaking loss in that semi-final. What can you take out of that game, and how did it strengthen the resolve of this team to kind of battle back and get back to this position?
Yeah, I think, you always take from losses or from bad things, you learn more than you ever will from winning. And I think there's no more of a brutal way to have lost to a game than the way we did in a World Cup semi-final of everything. So I think from that we've learnt more than anybody could ever learn from any other defeat, any other game that they've ever played in, which is probably why we are a little bit more resilient. We are quite firm believers in ourselves. We have a coach that believes in us. We have, the entire FA believe in us and our nation that does, because, we've been there before. We've had that resilience, and people know how much we care and how much we give to get to that last semi-final, that we're going to want to give more to get to the final.
So you were talking about how the Americans have had a lot of close games in this tournament. In the past, it did sometimes feel like teams were a bit intimidated by playing against them because of the reputation of one back and home solo that era. Do you think they are a more beatable side now, and teams don't have too much respect for them like they used to?
Yeah, I think they're a great team. They're the world number ones, and they are, the holders of the World Cup. They'll always have a great team, but I think, teams have started knocking on the door, getting closer and closer, and, that kind of spurs other teams on to go, oh, maybe we can do that as well. Oh, why can't we challenge them? I think you saw it, maybe in the Spain game. It took a while for Spain to get in the game, and then they were like, no, okay, it's just the Americans, it's just another team. And I think that's happened a lot in women's football. I think the competition that we have in Europe especially, it allows for that. We're so competitive and anyone could beat anyone. France have had games where they struggled, Germany have, we've not won every game in the run up to this World Cup. That's the way that the game's going now, and USA are going to fall into that now as well, where they're just as beatable as anybody else. And anyone who could be lifting this trophy at the end of this tournament. People ask me, am I surprised that Sweden are in the semi-final? No. Am I surprised that Holland? No. Any team's good enough and have the belief now where they can beat the top teams like America.
The US players often use the World Cup on stage to draw attention to different problems like discrimination, equal payment. What do you think of it?
I think the girls in the US, they've got such a platform that they have. They really are. I think one of their players talked about, Alex Morgan's a celebrity there. I think they try to drive as many issues as possible, and I can understand why. They have huge influences on their country, and they have, really strong views on a lot of big issues, and they try to use that platform. I think for us, we don't have, as a bigger platform as them, and we like to just influence what we can, and that's our game, women's football, driving women's sport, and driving those equal opportunities for women's sport in our own country.
So title would help that you would also use it.
Yeah, definitely. If we were to win the World Cup, we can be bigger influencers, but we'll still stick to wanting to inspire girls, wanting to inspire boys in our country. It sounds quite fairy tale like, but I think that's what this team likes. We want to do our job, we want to win trophies. Ultimately, we want to be a winning team, and we want to inspire a nation. It's it's quite simple and basic, but that's what we want to do.
10 years ago, you played in the US with some of the players you're going to face tomorrow. Since then, you play against the US, you beat them. What remained of that American dream European young player used to have 10 years, 20 years ago? What remained today facing this US team tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's like 10 years since I was in America, and I played with a lot of the girls, like Tobin, Heath, Ashton, Harris, a few of the girls that are going to be facing tomorrow. But I think I took a lot from my experiences in America, and that American dream and the way that they are as people and as players, and how driven they are. It's definitely something that I've took from them. Like I said, I took a lot from Lyon. I took a lot from playing in America and that kind of attitude and mentality they have, I took that and brought it back to this England team, and now this England team's got it. So it's worked in our favour that we have players playing abroad and going to America, and I think that's probably going to play in our favour tomorrow.
You spoke about playing in the US there. There's been a lot of talk about the US perhaps having an advantage in the high temperatures forecast for tomorrow's game. Can you tell us a bit more about how you've been preparing for the heat tomorrow, and whether you feel that the added rest day the England team has had could be used as an advantage going into the game?
Yeah, I think there's lots of pros and cons for the game tomorrow with temperature, may play into their hands at the end of the day. You know, we're all women playing football, so you know the temperature we've had to deal with for the past 4 weeks. I think our first game in the group games was the hottest of the first group games, and you know no one really said anything there. It was like, okay, England just played in the hottest game, but you know we just got on with it. I can't change the temperature, I can't tell the sun to go away, so we have to get on with it. We've prepared the best we can. We have amazing staff that, you know, we go through a lot of different protocols, and we were training, you know, in hotter temperatures before we came here, so it's something that we're definitely prepared for. And I mean the game's at 9 o'clock, so hopefully the sun's not beaming down on us, I can't imagine, but it's something that we're definitely prepared for. And yeah, maybe the extra day of rest can work in our favour. But you know, when it comes to football and the whistle blows, you're not thinking about that extra day's rest you've had. We might have had an extra day's rest, but I think we've probably had to travel a lot more than any other team. We've been the south of France to the north of France to the south of France to the north of France to the south of France, which every other team's had a little bit closer to go. So you know, there's a lot of different things that you could say this is advantage, disadvantage, but we want our 11 players on the field to beat their 11 players on the field. It's that simple.
You were teammates with Adam, who's not here, boycotting the World Cup. What is your take on the equality on women's football?
I think it's a hard issue, the equality in women's football, because you know there's not a right and a wrong answer. I think we need to do a lot more. There needs to be a lot more done, but at the same time we can't neglect the fact that we are making huge strides. I think someone mentioned before, you know, women's football's on a slope like this going up. It's going at a speed that no one could ever have imagined, and we've got to remember that where we've come from 4 years ago, 6 years ago, we've driven the game on a lot. Yeah, we've got a lot of places to go, and it's that balance of appreciating what we've got but then still pushing for more in the right way and at the right time.
Last one, please.
Yeah, the US has scored the opening 12 minutes of each game. Is it something you're going to be more focused on, the opening minutes of the game?
Yeah, I mean we focus on every minute of the game. We've started every game pretty fast as well, although we haven't scored, but I don't think we've conceded in any 12 minutes of games either, so I could throw that stat out. But I think the first 15 minutes are definitely going to be quite intense. Both teams are energetic, physical, you know, can go direct, want to play football, and they've started really fast. We've started really fast in both the first half and the second half. So I think for me, first 15 minutes, you know, it could be make or break for either team. But I think we're aware of that. I'm sure they'll be aware of that. But it's about us keeping focus and doing, you know, the job in hand and keeping to our game plan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.